Hey everyone, today we're going to focus on regions of the body that often associate with low back pain. If in your practice you know that you like to have blankets for cushioning your knees while you're kneeling or any other prop such as blocks, I would have those nearby before we start. So let's get started on all fours. I'm going to have you set up with your knees below your hips and your knees just as wide as your hips. Your hands and wrists placed underneath your shoulders. And we're going to begin with some cat-cows to warm up the spine and flexion and extension. On your inhale breath, drop your bellies, fall between your shoulder blades. Bring the gaze to look up. On your exhale breath, round the back, press away from the floor. Tuck the chin in. Let's inhale to our cow. Exhale to our cat. Few more breaths here on your own. Go with your breath. One more. And after your last one, I'm going to have you extend your legs back, lower down gently onto your belly. Here we're going to set up for Sphinx pose. So your elbows are just below your shoulders, your palms flat against the floor. You're pressing that floor away. This will get you some extension in the back. And let's bring the shoulder blades back a little further onto the back. Your gaze can be slightly down and forward, not too high, so then you would cause some cramping in the back of the neck. Let's hold for 5 breaths. On your last exhale breath, let's lower down onto our bellies. You can turn your head off to one side. Let's bring those feet up. And here we're going to windshield wiper the legs, but instead of going all the way over and lifting the hips up, I'm going to have you keep your hips flat and just go the amount that you can so that we can isolate the hips moving in the socket. Move steady at your own pace. Let's stop the feet straight up and take the legs back. Stretch one leg at a time back. I'm going to have you place your hands just about at your nipple line. Bring your elbows back, and we're slowly going to peel up. Bring those shoulder blades on the back. Press the floor away. Let's breathe in and out 3 slow breaths. If this is too much on your low back, I would go back to the Sphinx. Last breath. Let's press back to down dog. Since this is the first down dog, let's pedal the feet out, gently opening up the back of one leg at a time, firming the quads of that leg that you're pressing more of the weight into. And maybe just a moment of stillness. From here, let's find our way into a low lunge. I'm going to bring that left leg forward first. right knee to the floor. You can untuck the toes or keep them tucked, it's up to you here. And let's rise up. This is where I would have that blanket to cushion the back knee if you need that. And in your low lunge, let's bring that right hip forward and pull that left hip back so that you can feel more of that stretch through the right hip flexor. We'll hold for 5 breaths. And from here, you're going to want your back toes tucked. We're going to shift back on an exhale breath for half splits or Ardha Hanumanasana. Keep that chest high, spine long, and your exhale breaths take you deeper. 5 breaths here. Point your toes up. Let's inhale slow. Go back to your low lunge. Exhale completely. Shift back to your half splits. We're going to do this twice more. From your last one, you can walk the hands forward, lift up and shift back to down dog. Let's spend a few breaths here. Great posture for toning the spine muscles. Waking up the arms and legs. And then let's shift that right leg forward. Set up just like you did it on the other side. We're going to plug that right hip back this time. Take the left hip slightly forward to get into your left hip flexor. Let's spend 5 breaths here. And then let's shift back on an exhale breath. Have those back toes tucked for that support. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale takes you slightly deeper, whatever you can do here. Get into those right hamstrings. 4 more breaths. Let's inhale to go forward. And exhale back, half splits. Twice more, like we did on the other side. Move with your breath. Let's walk those hands forward. Shift back to down dog. And let's hold for 3 full breaths. In and out through the nose. We'll inhale the left leg high. shift forward. This time we're setting up for a high lunge. So get that 90-degree bend in your left leg. Lift those arms up. Keep the back leg as straight as you can. 3 breaths. Let's take the arms down, straighten that front leg, and then slowly shift everything to face the long edge of the mat. So here your legs are wide. We're going to bring the hands onto the hips and shift the elbows back. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward halfway. If you haven't done so already, you can bring those toes in slightly so that you can feel a little bit more grounded here and feel that lift through the arch, travel up the leg. Let's inhale, breath here, and exhale, take it down further. Here, it's a good option to just release the head and the neck. This way you get some nice traction through the spine. Let's walk those hands back to be in line with the feet. Elbows point back. And if your head can reach the ground, just let it gently touch the ground. Let's spend 5 breaths here. And an inhale breath, you walk your hands forward. Find yourself with a flat back. Brace your core. Let's take the hands to the hips again. Inhale breath guides you all the way up. And then from here, you might need to bring your feet in slightly, but we're going to take the toes to the right. Get that 90-degree bend in that right leg this time. And we are going to lift up to that high lunge on the right. 3 breaths. Slowly bring everything down. Let's step your foot back. Shift to down dog. For 5 breaths this time, let your triceps wrap down. Heels sink towards the floor. And then let's slowly find our way down onto the mat. We're going to actually shift onto our back. Here, let's just engage the back side for a moment. Bring those shoulder blades in, feet close to your glutes. Make sure your thighs are parallel to one another and they stay that way once we lift up into bridge. They might have a tendency to fall out when you lift up. Keep them pointed forward. Let's roll those shoulder blades under. And then on an inhale breath, lift. You can clasp your hands, press your glutes, or press your heels, squeeze your glutes to lift higher. 3 breaths. And then exhale to gently and slowly come back down onto the mat. From here, Let's actually shift the hips over a little bit to the right. We're going to take our left leg long, bring your right knee into your chest, give it a nice squeeze, and then on an exhale breath, I'm going to have you take your left hand over the outside of the right knee and twist everything over to the left. Your legs over to the left. Your right arm will reach out. Let's try to keep your shoulder blades both against the floor as you twist. Your gaze can look out to your right hand. Let's do 2 more breaths here. The goal was 5. Inhale that knee back up. Give it a nice squeeze for a breath or 2 before you release it out. Then let's shift things over to the left slightly. Right leg long this time. Left knee in. Let's squeeze it for a breath before we take it over to the right for 5 breaths. Exhale breath takes it over. Both shoulder blades stay against the ground. Your arm can be out, or you can cactus your left arm. Take your gaze over to the left. 5 breaths. Inhale everything back up. Let's squeeze this knee in for a breath or 2. Let's release that down and set up for Shavasana. Stick your hips wide, feet fall out, shoulder blades back. Move whatever you need to away from your hands. Palms face up and length along the back of the neck. Close your eyes. Release any tension from your body. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth together. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Pause this video for a longer Shavasana. I would recommend setting a timer for about 5 minutes so that you can relax in your Shavasana to end this practice. I hope you found this video useful, and if you know anyone with low back pain, go ahead, copy the link and send it over to them. And as always, I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.